The great exodus from WoW to OSRS. OSRS has been truly mind-breaking. Didn't think it was this good and have this much content broadly. Other games try to rush you to the end game. I even said it when I was eating dinner with the Jagex mods, Aiza and Sneezy. Is it Sneezy, guys? I forgot his name. The Giga Chat dude. I was telling them, like, I hate how retail WoW, they just make you skip to the max level. Like Burning Crusade, Wrath, like all those contents are dead. But in OSRS, I feel like they try to keep things relevant. And when you need to get like an item and get that upgraded in the next zone, or you could go and do all the content, right? Sween, okay. But yeah, WoW threw in that position where they just make you rush. OSRS, they make you do everything and it feels so fun doing everything. And then when you guys watch us do it, it's like, damn, I remember when I was a baby boy doing that. And we got that same feeling in hardcore WoW, right? Where we watched Tyler and them going through the journey. Every MMO should keep the journey. I don't think they should give a shortcut. I think it's a huge throw. Huge throw.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you.
Okay, I know you're saying I wanna correct. Okay, there's a ton of dead content in OSRS. Sure. But have you played retail WoW, Mr. Chef? Because if I play retail WoW right now, they have stats squished so many times and level squished so many times that after level 10, you just go anywhere in the world and quest wherever you want now. And I don't like that. I wish like there was still like Varrock into Falador into Ardongi. Like I want to go to that steps, but right now you just skip all of that and just go to like the new zone and it's like, eh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So something quite interesting is happening.
Ardongo, whatever.
I'm kind of caught in the middle of it actually. So I wanted to make a video talking about it for you here. Basically, if you don't know what's going on recently, there's been kind of a migration going on, if you will, from World of Warcraft to old school RuneScape. Some people are happy, some are neutral, a lot are quite angry, as MMO players tend to be. And I kind of wanted to analyze this situation here because it is quite interesting, I think. So, long story short, in October of last year, I decided to dip my toes into the wonderful world of Gielinor. There really wasn't much going on with World of Warcraft during the time that I was interested in personally, and inspired by another channel, Jimmy, who came over to WoW as a new player, I decided to sort of match that and do the same with OSRS, and it's been really fun. And more recently, within the past month or so, there's actually been a bunch of WoW channels that are checking it out as well, and it's kind of blown up at this point, and there's this huge wave of optimism with OSRS, and this huge wave of pessimism with World of Warcraft, because at least at the moment, Blizzard is kind of struggling with what to do with Classic.
For the record, I don't hate Classic WoW, guys. It's not an MMO war. I think a lot of like WoW people think I hate WoW. I don't hate WoW. I think it's a good game. It's fun in different ways. And right now, this game is just so much superior. But that being said, it's not a war. It's fun in different ways, guys, okay? I don't hate WoW. I've never said that. Like, even when I started first playing this game, like, I always praise OSRS, but I never, like, said I hate WoW. But I think people think that way, which isn't true. I don't hate WoW, guys. It's my childhood game. I like both.
But do you know what developer isn't struggling? Are you tired of waiting for World War III to officially kick off so we can be sent to our glorious nuclear Armageddon? Well, wait no longer. Bring war to your depressing bedroom with the free-to-play War Thunder. Commander Mad Season's favorite game on the Citadel. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile,
yeah, we're not gonna skip, guys.
planes,
We have to respect.
helicopters, ships. Oh my. With over 2,500 options from 10 major nations, from all the timelines to blow shit up, or get yourself blown up, with the X-ray feature, which shows you to the very last detail just why you're bad at video games, whether it be its sound effects or graphics. With over 70 million players engaging in massive PvP battles, you think you want to play, And you do. And between the engines, fuel tanks,
Is that
and
a WoW
weapons,
joke?
each part of these machines, including the crew members who operate them, are susceptible to damage and are fully customizable, such as this historically accurate anime decal. All that's needed is you, keyboard, a couple of energy drinks, and an abundance of free time on a Friday night. Click my links in the pinned comment or description. If you're a new or returning player who hasn't played for 6 months on PC and console, you'll get the limited time massive bonus pack, which includes the Eagle of Valor exclusive vehicle decoration,
You can literally
100,000
skip.
silver
Guys,
lions,
skipping
and
is
7
rude.
days of
He made
premium.
this for us to
Anyways,
watch.
memes aside, as you would expect, things have gotten pretty toxic and tribalistic, as MMOs tend to unfortunately be. And I just want to say I would like to avoid that. I personally think it's unproductive. I might feel like that at moments in this video because that just kind of naturally happens when you compare two things next to each other and two developers next to each other. But hopefully that's not the vibe the video gives off. I think both games are cool in their own right. The community opinion is very much leaning one way right now, but
He's exactly saying what I said.
it's far from beyond redemption, as I'll explain. So a lot of people are kind of taking this as WoW bad. Primarily Classic is bad because OSRS is, of course, also a Classic recreation, so they kind of draw this similar audience, and there's just no interest in World of Warcraft Classic anymore, which is a half-truth. I'm not sure about retail. I haven't really kept it up to date, aside from
Oh
this
man, he has to show the
abomination you're
worst
staring
scene
at.
ever, huh?
Small indie game dev, by the way. This is the kind of quality content that record-breaking microtransaction profits gets you, I guess, so shoutouts to that. But as far as Classic is concerned, there's actually a massive interest in it.
Embarrassing.
It's just that there's not much interest right now due to how Blizzard has sort of structured it. And for this, there are definitely a few reasons, starting with number one here, and that's meaningful progression. And what I mean by that is the time that you put into the game isn't made to be irrelevant within a year, or heck, even a few months later. You may have seen this. There's actually been a lot of people who have been talking about this. It's kind of becoming a thing as the MMORPG genre evolves. Heck, even the latest ad from OSRS outright mentions it.
Tired of chasing gear that'll be worthless next patch. In old school RuneScape, your progress actually matters. No resets, no seasons, no FOMO. Just you and your
Dude, this
grind.
reminds me of.
This is what's called horizontal versus vertical progression.
Did you guys see this? It's crazy. Dude, I saw this the other day and I was like, what is this ad? Is this like a fan-made ad? Or is this... Guys, is this a fan-made ad? Or is this really Jagex? I don't know if you know the whole meme of like this like CEO cheating on his wife. And then...
Okay, let's have a look at these two. Oh, okay, they're either having an affair or they're just really, really shy. Don't worry, we won't judge you if you get caught playing the field a bit. So download old school RuneScape today
Bro,
and play on PC or
what? What is this ad? This is crazy. Dude, RuneScape is firing shots at WoW.
Okay, let's have a look at these two.
This is a night elf. And they're having it.
Oh, okay, they're either having an affair or they're just really, really shy. Don't worry, we won't judge you if you get caught
What the
playing the field a bit. So download old
Bro,
school
what
RuneScape
kind of ad is that? Jack X, you guys are firing shots. It's crazy. That's crazy ad. Crazy. I saw that. I was screaming.
If you don't know,
Holy
vertical
shit.
progression is essentially character progression such that when new content is released, it replaces old content or otherwise makes it irrelevant or far less relevant in some way. This is how Modern WoW has done it for a very long time. At first it was with new expansion releases. You know, BC comes out, vanilla gear is mostly useless by the time you reach level 70. But now it's actually done by patch. Like when patch 10.1 releases, 10.0 content is replaced within a few days, and you never go back again to the raid content of 10.0. And when 10.2 releases, the same is true for 10.1, and so on and so forth. And you may be asking, okay, why would they do that? I definitely see the appeal in a fresh start, but every 4 or 5 months or so, or whenever they release patches these days. Kind of seems to be a bit much, especially in a genre of game which is centered around character progression. Now I personally have a little theory that this is done in order to sell more WoW tokens, since progression is now essentially resetting every patch as opposed to every expansion, and when progression resets, WoW tokens sell because people are buying new BOEs, they're buying all of their new enchants and, tertiary trade skill stuff to catch up to the new content. But I digress. That's its own whole cringe 1-hour rant that I already did many years ago.
Yeah, Matt Season hates this stuff. I mean, I don't like it either, but this is kind of like a deep talk where you can start thinking however you want to think because you don't know their incentive or their truthful thoughts. But I try to think of it as, you know how Jagex like fucked up really hard by killing how do you guys say it? Wilderness? And then you guys had a whole riot, right? But that was because of like all the bots and whatnot, right? And then I think OSRS now has like a little token where you can pay sub with. It feels like old school RuneScape people are okay with that. WoW people, it's different. But it's like almost the same concept, but WoW players don't like it, right? But it's just like how people want to think it. I don't think they want to allow carries to be sold, but people do it in a way. It's kind of hard to stop. It's like the botting thing. It's hard to stop the bots, man. Yeah. That's why you play Iron Man. True. Same.
We can save that for another video, maybe.
It's a hard topic, I feel like.
Getting back on subject here, vertical progression versus horizontal. Now, horizontal, on the other hand, avoids this self-cannibalization, and the game only grows in impactful things to do, while at the same time avoiding making existing systems and features or places or the time spent invested into them irrelevant. Just recently they released some more content. There's a new area in the game, and by releasing this area, it doesn't make anywhere else in the world irrelevant. The entire world of Gielinor and all the things to do in it are still valuable and they still matter. In fact, in some cases they matter more. Soon they'll be releasing a new skill called Sailing, and by releasing this, not only does it not make the other skills like magic, hunting, herblore, or any of the other ones irrelevant, it in fact can make them more relevant due to the way that skills interact with each other in this game. And I know what a lot of people are going to say, it's apples and oranges. The games are too different to be compared to one another. But even vanilla World of Warcraft, as theme park as it is, has this perfect example. When the Blackwing Lair comes out, you still want to do the Molten Core. In fact, many guilds are still doing the Molten Core even when the final raid, Next Ramus, is out. Because there are a few key items in there that are still really good, even at that raid tier. So, although I would say it isn't as much as a game like OSRS, which is obviously much more sandbox, these things, combined with the loot being so diverse in vanilla, creates this sort of horizontal progression aspect where even early raid tiers are relevant enough to where guilds still run them when the new raids come out. In fact, it's one of the things that makes vanilla so unique, because from this point onward is when they started moving more towards this vertical style of progression. Of course, with the first expansion, the Burning Crusade, raising the level cap like I mentioned and erasing 99% of the...
To be honest, up until a certain point, it was fine, because like you would still level 1 through 60 in Classic, 60 to 70 in BC, and then 70 to 80 in Wrath. But you wouldn't do the older raids, right? But you would still do like some of the quests, and that's... I think that up to that point was fine. Oh, am I effing? Yeah, but what I was saying was, up until Wrath, I feel like we got to do the content itself, at least the leveling part, 1 through 60, and then 60 to 70, and then 70 to 80, right? But at a certain point, they just make you just skip everything, which sucks.
By the time you reach Nagrand. So, coming back to OSRs for a moment, and this is one of its greatest strengths, the entire way that it's been crafted provides security and longevity, where if you feel burnt out, or if you just have real life stuff happen, which happens to all of us, obviously, by the time you come back, you don't have what is essentially at this irrelevant dead character to regrind. You have retained your progress, And if you don't believe me on that, let's just look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. So OSRS officially relaunched in 2013, so it has a 6-year head start before Classic, which is important to note. But similar to Classic WoW, it was the original old school version of the game. Jagex, much like Blizzard, kind of went off the rails with the game, from what I understand, which is now referred to as RuneScape 3. It gained this whole new identity, in a large way motivated to try to appeal to WoW players, ironically enough. And although I haven't played it personally, I hear nothing but terrible things about it.
Yeah, I've only heard bad stuff about this. I guess there's like a small group that really likes it, and I think it's cool that they do. And maybe it's sad that they get bullied hard, but yeah, anytime it's brought up, everyone says it's so bad. Yeah.
It supposedly has one of the most... And on that note, I also hope that this video doesn't come off as me fanboying Jagex and shitting on Blizzard. Although I'm definitely more happy with Jagex right now. The side I'm on is the player side. I think what's happened with Blizzard over the course of the past decade is a perfect example of what loyalty to a developer gets you. In my opinion, the only side you should be loyal to is you, the player. Because by doing that, you're forcing these developers to compete against each other for your dollar. But we'll get into that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyways, as you can see, when OSRS first launched, it saw this big surge of popularity, much like Classic WoW 2019. And like Classic WoW, things slowly tapered off because it's an MMO. There's nothing abnormal or anything the developers have done wrong at this point. It's just how MMOs work. There's this huge surge of popularity and then a drop off. This is common, especially if there's this foreseeable finish line in the future, because guess what? Finish lines erase security. The entire genre from its inception is based off of the fact that it never ends. Day one, that's what MMOs were all about. If you run out of things to do, the developers add more things to do in order to keep you subscribed. Failing that, the game loses one of its greatest strengths, and it'll just retain this very baseline amount of really super hardcore dedicated players who just really love the world so much that they are content with it never changing. But as great as all that is, the large majority of that initial surge will quote-unquote complete the game, as much as you can complete an MMO, and then move on to another one that are actually offering new and exciting things. And I mention this, and it's really, really important because this is where these two developers diverge and has led us to the situation today. So what exactly is this split? Well, whereas Blizzard went down the route of re-releasing expansions, which carried a certain amount of vanilla classic players with them, because this is where the new content lies as they stopped updating vanilla. They had classic era servers, but they just kept it at the final 1.12 patch, which kept a baseline amount of players, like I said, but that's it. But over on the OSRS side of things, something interesting started to happen. They had stayed with the original game in this original world, but essentially started doing OSRS Plus, what classic players have been fiending for a very long time if you're at all involved with the community. So
I'm so jealous. Even if Classic Plus comes out, guys, it's gonna be good, but I feel like the content's gonna be limited. Whereas in this game, it has existed for a while now after the relaunch, right? So you guys still have a lot of stuff to do, or if you're a new player, you have so many things to catch up on. I feel like if Blizzard does Classic Plus now, it's gonna be good, but it's gonna lack some content, and it might feel like a seasonal game again, and that's what I'm afraid of. I don't like seasonal, man. I know this might sound crazy, and not everyone can do this, but I could say as an MMO player, I met a lot of people, and man, MMO guys love to just tank and stay in their game. Like, we just want to log into our main game and just stay online all day long and have something to do. I know some games say like, oh, just beat the content and go play other games, but it's like, no, we love this game so much, we want to just stay on here and grind forever, right? That's why you gotta like develop things where we have to shoot for the stars, right? Some unobtainable goal. Kind of like these two right now. These are like one of the goals for me, like to get a 99. And I know that's almost unobtainable for a long time, right? Whether it be skill or time spent, but that's a fucking good pitch right there. That just makes you stay on the game, and it feels like I have something to grind for forever. And in that note, OSRS nailed it better than any other MMOs I've ever played in my life. They did so good on that. Like, even when I was at the event, everyone's on their phone just crabbing, right? It just gives you a reason to log in and do something, and you're gaining something out of it. It's such a good feeling as an MMO player. Hashtag ad, yeah, hashtag ad. Yo, Jagex sponsor me, of course. It's good. I gotta praise on that. I give credit where credit is due. It's good.
For OSRS, as you can imagine, this was the original game in the original world, with changes and updates added in the spirit of this original game. Changes that were added in a non-cannibalistic way that didn't destroy time investment and character progression, and complete with polls voted on by the players to make sure that it stays on track, and they also have some sort of say in it. And as you can see, as the numbers show, after this initial surge, OSRS wasn't really that popular. It was only after they started adding these new features and areas and quests true to this original flavor. So something interesting started to happen.
Bro, they're booming here. This is exactly what I said too. Remember when I said if they put Classic Plus, it's gonna be like this until they put enough content for people to like enjoy and do. So at the start, it's gonna be really fun, but it's gonna die off. Bro, I'm calling it. I play too many MMOs now.
The game, instead of declining, although very slowly, started to grow and grow like Rosie O'Donnell's penis until today, where everyone's now realized,
what are you saying, brother?
This game's pretty damn good.
Whose penis?
And most importantly, there's no end in sight. Huge content like new areas and bosses and skills, to small fixes and optimizations. The game gets updated every 2 weeks, if you can believe that. New areas, activities, enemies, items, whatever. And over the course of the past 12 years, it's now in a position where it's setting new records every day, and it's really paying dividends. So we contrast this with World of Warcraft, which mystifyingly has gone down the same path of expansions, but we'll save that for later. For now, let's focus more on vanilla, since I think
WoW through so hard. WoW through so hard.
that's really more comparable here. As you know, they've relied primarily on these temporary seasons. There was the Season of Mastery, which had some end-game raid balance changes, and their most recent Discovery, which had...
Yo, Season of Discovery was good, but remember what he said over here? If there's a finish line, people don't like that. They said this next raid is going to be the last one, and everyone quit after that. Because, like, why would you want to play? If your game ends, why would you want to play, right? It's so stupid.
Much more
Sod was fun, but I quit right as I heard they're gonna stop. Because like, why would I play?
Profession items,
everything I get, all the titles I get doesn't matter.
Level raids,
like no one's gonna log in. It's a
we'll
dead game.
About some of it within the realm of what people commonly request of Classic Plus, but ultimately quite a lot of it outside of it. Unless, I don't know, you guys have seen people really want rogue tanks and Nomuragon raids in their version of Classic Plus, which I personally have not seen, but it is what it is, I guess. But even still, whatever the case is, the issue is the same. They eventually end. You can't put in a couple months of time and then...
Good job at the event.
Okay, I can't let these slide by, okay? Don't be delusional. Far more people still play WoW than OSRS. OSRS is good, but... Man, I don't know. OSRS has like, what, 220,000 people playing right now? It's a lot of people. And remember what I said at the start? You guys could rewind. I said I don't hate WoW. And you're right. I do love WoW. WoW threw. WoW did throw, man. Don't act like it didn't throw. Bro, I played this game for like 21 years, man. Sounds like a lot, actually. No longer. Dude, what is this fucking YouTube comment section? Just say it. Dead game? No, WoW is still good, man. But it's good in different ways, right? It's good like end game content. If you want to do just hard raid or hard mythic keys. But after you beat that, it's over. And like I said, MMO players want to play a game where they're able to stay on the game forever, right? Every MMO player wants that. It's true, man. It's true. They might say no to that, but if they had the time to, bro, they would. Because I played FF. FF, everybody stays on. I will say FF is the most monster community I've seen. Story was great. Ultimates are fun. I gotta give credit, okay? Raids are fun, story's fun, RP's fun, but that land gets dry so fast. It's a fucking desert. There's like no water. Everyone's like, I'm thirsty, boss. Give us content, Yoshi P, please. I'm fucking thirsty. Dude, everyone's thirsting over there. And what they do is they still log onto their game because they love it. But all they do is just slash lean, and it does like this lean animation on the wall. And they just AFK, and I call them statues. They're all statues in that game. You know how we come in here and we're whipping crabs? What they do is they do this, do an emote, do lean, and that's what they do for 20 hours a day. There's a guy, I go to Limsa it's like Gillen, it's like Barrock City, and there's these Catboy and Catgirl that always stand there. Same spot, never fucking moves. I'm like, does this guy ever play the game, or is he a statue? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. If you played FF, you know what I'm talking about. They're all statues just AFKing, man. It's crazy. But I'm telling you, MMO players want to stay on their game. That's why there's like tribalism and whatnot. It's very important.
With any confidence, come back a year later and continue where you left off at the same level. And not only that, but if any substantial amount of time has passed, if you have the knowledge that the season is going to end, why would you start midway through? This was made especially worse with how closed-mouthed they were with when their season was going to end. Near the end, they were actually putting out Classic Plus-esque content like a Scarlet Monastery raid and an Ashburner quest line. But why would you start and play it if, for all that you know, it could end in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month? They have created zero security that your investment and progression will retain value in a genre of game that's centered around time investment and character progression. Perfect example here, Season of Discovery, which after Phase 1 maintained fairly low numbers, I would say. That is until the very day that they announced that it was ending, and that's when everyone quit. Because, of course, it's common sense. Why would you play? Why invest so much time into this time-consuming genre centered?
Guys, sorry to pause the video, but we got a donation and it made me think weird. He's like, hey, Savix, welcome back. Glad to see you back. I'm happy you're okay. I got so happy I farted so hard that the force of my fart made my balls tickle all the way. Bro, what in the world am I reading? You guys all have to see it because I saw it too. I ruined my eyes. You guys all ruined your eyes too.
Around character progression when you know you will not retain any of this progression. Knowing that an MMO will end or your time spent will be made to be irrelevant is one of the most demotivating things that a player can experience. And this all may seem obvious to you, in which case the question then becomes, well, why has Blizzard structured their games in this way? Well, yeah, I don't know. Don't look at me, I'm asking the same question here. I'm actually very curious about that. In fact, Discovery was especially egregious with this due to its phase system and the way they capped off levels. At first it was level 20, and then 30, and then 40. With each new phase essentially dismantling the work and time invested in the previous phase, kind of following this retail structure of when new patches releases, everything you did in the previous patch is replaced within a few days.
Yeah, and, that part does suck. It would be cool if they could make you do that content. Like, you have to beat the boss one time at least. Or maybe make it where you could go in and solo the bosses and you get like an achievement or like an armor piece. But it's hard. WoW has so many different classes too.
Site is 2020 for sure.
It was fun though. The progress.
I mean,
of
once
that,
again,
if you played it all the way.
As you could see by the drop off, huge wave of popularity in Phase 1, followed by a pretty sharp decline. And in fact, if you ask people who played Discovery, it's pretty common for them to say, well, Phase 1 was really awesome, but after that it was kind of lame. So, you know, just thinking about it here, it's really no wonder why the situation is as it is right now. Having this genre of game defined by its longevity and erasing people's time investment and work
is
one of the most mystifying things about this whole situation. Not only are Blizzard destroying people's progression on a macro level with the seasons themselves ending, they're also doing it on a micro level in between these different phasing systems. And again, there's value in a fresh start, but how much is too much? And I think clearly, as we could tell by the situation currently going on, this is too much. The simple fact of the matter is that OSRS has been designed to grow And World of Warcraft, nearly every version of the game, has been designed to surge and then burn out immediately.
Dude, Mad Season gets it. Mad Season gets it, man. I hate that about WoW.
Now see the former.
It's so sad too. Like all the friends you make, all the gear you get, all the titles you get, like none of that matters in the end. As in like OS, I feel like there's a continuation that makes you, you know, stay on the game and play. And there's so many like side stuff you could do. It's cool.
Rewards of that long-term design, as it's now been over a decade of these faithful, non-cannibalistic content added to the game. Even if you played OSRS at its launch in 2013, played it for a few months or a year, haven't touched it since, maybe you got 99 mining, that skill is just as relevant today as it was back then. In fact, probably more so, because they've added more content and activities relating to the skill, and you can just jump in and enjoy those. So this is the split. When Blizzard had the opportunity to do the exact same thing, they instead chose to throw their game and their players' time investment into a recycler. And
I mean, I see why Blizzard did it, right? It's because up until this point, if you wanted to level engineering, you had to level up the whole classic, the whole TBC, the whole Wrath, and then if you made a new character, you would have to do so much to catch up to engineering. And Blizzard was like, man, we feel bad for the new players. Let's just make a new section for that expansion where you just start fresh. So it's like, if I come into OSRS late, guys, I know this sounds like bullshit. I mean, they did it for a reason, but their reasoning was, it was like nice and thoughtful for the new people, but at the same time, it stabs the old long-term players, right? Say I need like 50 mining to do this certain thing, but they make it where a new expansion comes out and it's like, okay, everybody starts with 50 mining. And it's like, what the fuck? Why did we do that shit, right? And it kind of sucks. And they just do that with every profession in this game now because they don't want you to grind all that. So yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it was supposed to be a nice thing so that new players don't feel overwhelmed and they would have to level all the way. But at the same time, it makes a new player learn the game and play the game properly, right? You don't just skip to the end, which is controversial, right? But I like how old school RuneScape did it, though. It keeps the game's heart in. I like that a lot. If a game had a lot of visuals like FFXIV, aka sexy stuff, the skill tree and progression of OSRS and hotbar combat would be more intuitive. It would win. Bro, you gotta get your mind out of the gutter, buddy. You're a gooner, huh? Dude, you don't look at the graphic when you play OSRS. Well, I like the graphic now. Before, like even Soda said, like he used to hate how it looks like, and that was me too. But now that I played it so long, I fucking love how my character looks like. I love this. I love how my character looks. That's why I don't even do the HD plugin. I really appreciate the graphic for its what it is. I fell in love with it because the game's good.
Despite how much time you put into it, you're still where you left off, square one, and any time you put into mastery or discovery has resulted in only memories. While
bro, I'm getting brainwashed. I still like WoW, by the way, but now that I look at WoW after I looked at OSRS, how am I even saying this right now? Bro, WoW looks like ass. Yo, am I getting brainwashed right now? Dude, you know my first story, guys. I fought kids in my elementary school telling them WoW is better than OSRS. Like, I fought them and I went to detention, but my mind is like shifting now.
Anytime you put into mastery or discovery has resulted in only memories, while the
I don't hate WoW, guys. I love WoW.
19 version follows.
But I don't like what they've done to my game.
The same path that led to its very creation. So let's talk about this. I just failed to get
Bro,
it.
it's the concussion. It's the concussion, guys. I got hit in the head. I'm thinking weirdly now.
Maybe. My mind is kind of blown with this whole situation. It's like if Jagex, instead of doing what they're doing with OSRS, they instead re-released it and then followed through with the changes that eventually turned it into RuneScape 3, thereby repeating the same mistakes and setting players down the very same path that created the desire for old school RuneScape to begin with. It sounds insane. In fact, it literally is the definition of insanity, repeating the same thing and expecting different results. But That's what Blizzard is doing. I shit you not. We're almost at the point where they're about to re-release the Warlords of Mother Effing Draenor. Okay? It's like...
Yo, I stayed true, guys. I didn't even touch him up. I did not touch him up. I am clean. I hate WoW. I like OSR. OSRS wins the war, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I still like WoW, okay? But I didn't touch him up, okay? I didn't touch him up. Yeah.
What's the point? The most entry...
Yeah, what's the point? Like, I've already done this so many times. I don't want repeats anymore. I just want them to do Classic Plus and master that. That's what I want. I still like WoW, guys. I'm just kidding.
Entertainment that expansion brought was sitting half AFK in your garrison, arguing about politics and trade chat. This is one of the main driving forces of this migration that's happening right now. It's no
What is this video? I didn't even see this. Why am I there?
secret. Everyone's talking about it. This isn't a groundbreaking video. OSRS is making ads based off of it. World of Warcraft and OSRS are two very different games, and you can't directly compare them together. That's very true. One is a sandbox, the other is a theme park, but if you say that, they can at the very least learn from one another. My reply is that, well, you'd make a very great Blizzard developer because it's an incredibly obtuse and unproductive way of looking at things. In any creative body, you have to have the ability to put your ego aside and say, oh, you know what, this competitor did this thing really well. I'm going to retain my identity, but I'm also going to learn from it to improve the product that I'm putting out. And the knowledge that Blizzard can glean from this to improve their game for you is building off of this strong base in a non-cannibalistic way and reappreciating this core fundamental appeal that the MMO genre has had day one, security and longevity, and to not disrespect the player's time by setting them back to square one every few months. It isn't some grand revelation. In fact, it's always been the elephant in the room.
Oh,
with
man.
Specifically, day one, it was that, okay, what happens after Naxxramas? The issue with re-releases within the MMO genre is that, of course, the second time around, the finish line is common knowledge. In 2004, most people didn't even know what an expansion was, let alone its implications. Knowing this finish line limits its potential severely, and this is the answer that's staring them right in the face. Keep the original game, add content in line in its original spirit, go on this alternative pathway from the Outland, stay in the original 2 continents, and create new content and memories with your community as your ally and partner, and use them to help guide you because chances are they probably know the game more than you. A handful of a few dozen developers do not know more than the hundreds of thousands of community of players who have played the game for the past 20 years. But whatever the case is, relying on these temporary servers has caused vanilla to fall far short of its actual potential. And even saying that, OSRS also does have these temporary seasons, but they're integrated into the main game. They're called leagues. They launch every now and then, and they have accelerated progression similar to classic seasons, but instead of just solo...
I heard these are fun. I can't imagine myself playing this because I have trauma from WoW, but when I was sitting down eating breakfast with Oda and Aiza and Sneevy, is it Sneevy, guys? They were telling me how fun this is. And Oda was telling me that you level up so much faster. That is so fun. And he's like, you have to play. And I was like, man, I'm at that point where I have like my baby boy son and I still like playing one character right now, you know? But maybe we'll try it out in the future, yeah. We'll see, we'll see. I don't know. I still want to just play my main character, you know? I can't imagine like making a new character. It's like having a second son when I'm like, I want to love my firstborn right now, you know? Yeah.
being their own thing that ends. By
Sweet.
participating in them, you earn a currency that you can spend in the main game to unlock cosmetic rewards as
Oh, that's kind of smart.
kind of a show of your participation.
It's kind of like Mob Remix and the Remix server. You play there to unlock cosmetics.
or that league. The main game doesn't end when they're finished, and they're used to shake up the experience and at the same time progress the main game in various ways. Because from what I understand, they also use them as a testing ground. And if there's an element that the
Blizzard
players
taking
really
note. I mean, if Blizzard wants to take note, what me and Mad Season agree with is if they do a Classic Plus, don't make people skip the content. Like, make them go through it. I think that's really important. And that's something that they failed to do in Season of Discovery as well. After we discovered all the runes, like near the late patch, they added a vendor that you could just buy all the runes off of for free. And it's like, it's called Season of Discovery, but now you just log in and right click, buy all the runes off the vendor. It's like, what the fuck was the point of us gathering these shit, you know? Like, you're making us do all this, and then like when new player comes in, you just give it all for free. It's like, hello, you know? I get it. It makes it easier for the new players to come in and enjoy, but it's so weird that like a level 1 has all the max abilities, and it's like, why are you guys doing this, you know? Don't do that shit. It's so important not to do that, or it betrays the players. Like, why did we spend time doing that? It's like, let's say I leveled up my attack to 99, and then they do a season bonus, whatever, and then they give everyone like up to 70 point for free. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Liked in a particular league, they implemented into the mainline OSRS after confirming.
Like for free, you don't even have to do anything, guys. I know you guys are like saying ×4 or ×3, but it's like for free. You just go in, right click, and you're done. You don't even have to do anything. It's like, what the fuck?
Again, with the player base, and in the cases of features that the players didn't like, oh well, it's just a side league, and it's not the only thing to play, and there's always still new, more grounded stuff being developed every day. So again, another feature that, in my opinion, has been far more thought out and well done. Who knows, they may have even gotten the idea from Blizzard, and they were able to put their ego aside, learn from it, do better, and still retain their original identity and leverage ideas from your competitor without ripping them off to make your game better and your community happier. So between the way that the game itself is constructed and with it using seasons as a supplement, as opposed to relying on them exclusively like World of Warcraft is doing right now, Jagex is offering something that Blizzard
Bro,
isn't.
I'm over here sitting and thinking, how am I playing this game right now? It's still, you guys have no idea how much of a OSRS hater I was in elementary school, where I would argue with kids that WoW was better, and now I'm like fighting for this game. It's like, oh my god, what happened, bro? What the fuck? Wow, what the hell did you do, man? You idiots ruined my game. It's so crazy, man, because I know a lot of you guys might be tribalistic too, right? Where you never want to try WoW. I was kind of like that, where I never wanted to try OSRS. And I know for a fact that Soda was the same. When he first played, he's like, I hate this game. Like, he hated how it looked. He didn't like the click. But once you play it and understand, it's like, damn, this game has some roots, like some deep ass roots. And it has so much story and history behind this game. It's actually insane how much this game has.
And it's
Crazy.
a large reason why you see this exodus. Maybe they thought that Pandaria Classic would fill the gap, but it isn't, because it's not vanilla. In fact, this very same expansion is directly one of the ones that made people yearn for vanilla, because it was so out there and against the identity of what World of Warcraft is. There are people who play Warcraft and they want orcs, violence, and heavy metal, not mystical adventures in Pandaland. And it was Pandaria that really kind of made them realize, like, okay, wow, this...
Nah, Panda was good. Panda was good. Raid was good and PvP was good. I don't want to shit on Panda. I enjoyed Panda a lot. I had so much world PvP. I don't know about the story, but I enjoyed this expansion. It was good.
Isn't the game that I fell in love with. I want to play private servers and go back to the original version. The gap in design and feel between Mists of Pandaria and vanilla is just too large for vanilla players to be satisfied, is evidenced with this exodus. I shit you not, there are streamers right now who are refusing paid sponsorships to play Pandaria and are instead playing OSR.
And I want to tell you that I declined a $5,000 deal to play Mists of Pandaria to fucking play this game, so put some respect on my name, man.
Welcome
Okay,
back.
by the way,
Hope you are doing well.
this wasn't a flex. I think the context is important here, and it's up to you guys to, you know, defend me if people say. I'm not trying to say that. What I was trying to say was there was a lot of people saying that I'm going to play this game and quit after a week of hype. And it's like, bro, I was Guzu, and then it was me, right? And then Soda, like, I didn't really jump on with the bandwagon. It was like kind of at the start. And then I genuinely enjoyed it. And I was trying to tell people I enjoy it, but they're like, no, he's going to go play Mob. He's going to go play Mob. And it's like, bro, I rejected a sponsor. I'm not going to go play that, you know? And I just want to let people know that I'm enjoying the game. Because so many people are saying that I'm going to quit after like a week and whatnot. But we showed them what's up. We got the Fire Cape as well. And our next goal is Inferno. And I just showed you guys that I paid for 1 year. And my next subscription renewal date is August 2026. So, bro, we're here for the long run, baby. All right? We're here for the long run. Actually enjoy this game. I rejected big money to play this.
I
enjoy this game.
That's right. They literally can't pay people to play their game. Wow. Oh,
dude, Blizzard's gonna think I hate their game. Mad Season, they're gonna never give me a sponsor. It's over, guys. It's over. I'm banned in WoW, bro. No, man, I said it many times. I don't hate WoW, guys. I don't. I'm blacklisted. It's over, guys.
God.
It's over.
What a state of affairs. Again, it's just this fundamental misunderstanding of what the player base wants.
Yes.
Intentionally or otherwise,
Season
they've
gets it
actually
in that
designed
part.
these dead periods lasting several months at a time. People won't play your game if there's no game to play. It's quite simple, actually.
Bro, you know what the new news is? You know how people say, like, I killed PvP in WoW? Now people are saying I killed MOP as well. It's like, bro, they're saying I killed everything in WoW. This is not true, bro. This is not true. And they say I killed Saul too. It's like, bro, I'm not killing your game. You guys are killing your game yourselves. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, shit, dude. Do I have that big of an impact, man? It's crazy.
So, reason number 2 kind of ties in with 1, is why you're seeing this migration, is that there's just really not a lot going on with classic World of Warcraft right now due to the way that it's structured.
Yeah.
At least within the vanilla or the vanilla-esque.
Guzu, you traitor. Go back to Crabs right now. Bro, he's playing a Marvel Rival. A Marvel Rival. Oh, the block. Let me get a picture of the block. He's mad. He is mad at you right now. Look at this, bro. He's cheating, man.
Realm, but I'll tell you right now, and I know there's a lot of apathy
I
surrounding
don't know.
Blizzard, and you're going to see it in the
I just
comments
googled it.
for
That's
sure,
the first
but
image I saw.
I'm telling you, Blizzard announces an actual Classic Plus, there will be massive hype. There will be massive interest because it's there. It's sort of like potential energy versus kinetic. OSRS has more kinetic right now because of the way that they formatted their game, whereas World of Warcraft is running low because their season recently ended and Pandaria doesn't appeal to vanilla players enough, but they do have this huge swell of potential energy just sitting right there. It's just that they haven't really been able to tune into it fully for the past 5 years. WoW is actually kind of unique because it has this rather large private server scene that sort of serves as this canary in the coal mine situation, except instead of toxic fumes, they indicate interest. Maybe a bad analogy, I don't know. But
guys, I know this sounds crazy, but would you guys play Classic Plus if it came out? Would you guys try it? Or are you guys gonna be crabbing? Oh yes, really? Okay. Okay, a little bit of mix. I would try. Okay, a lot of no's too, but yeses. Crabbing on the side. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. They would have to do it right. They would have to do it right. It's kind of like Season of Discovery 2. Like, everyone played it, and then after they like slowed down on the content, everyone kind of slowed down as well. I kind of wish they would just work on this for 2 more years. I know next year they're going to drop it around November in the next BlizzCon. But I feel like they should spend a lot of time into it to flesh it out and add a lot of content. Like OSRS. I'm really telling you, man, they need to play OSRS. They need to play OSRS and learn from the GOATs. OSRS is goated, man. It's crazy.
Getting to the point, some may remember that one of the reasons why Blizzard finally...
It's fun, though. I'm telling you, the 1 through 60 and the pre-raid biz farm is always really fun. But they need to add some like solo content like the Jad stuff. I like solo stuff. Because raid stuff, you just get annoyed. You're waiting for that last one idiot to finally figure out not to stand on shit. And it takes forever, right? Whereas in like Jad fight, you're just doing it yourself. Like, if you die, you're the idiot. You need to figure it out. You get there, right? I like the solo or like small group stuff. Maybe like 4-man, 3-man, 2-man, 1-man. I don't like 40 people in Classic WoW. And I know Classic people get a boner to do a raid with 40 people, but man, I don't get a boner for that. It's so unfun. You play with 39 other people, and if you're the raid leader, it's like a
OSRS
kindergarten.
would be my solo game and Classic Plus would be my multiplayer game.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would limit the raid size, like to a smaller size. But while people love 40, man, it's a problem. It's a problem, man. It's a problem. What gives you a big boner? I like Jad or the solo challenge in OSRS. Mage Tower and WoW. Those give me a boner. Like, I like the solo stuff. And it's kind of wild that I'm saying that in an MMO, but okay, I do like group stuff, but maybe with 2 or 3 or max 5. I don't like 40 people. I don't like 25 people. It's too many, man. Too many. Too many. Yeah, when I was doing Jad, guys, I was rock hard. I was hard the whole time. That's why I went to the bathroom like 20 times. Yeah. Anyways, super fun. I like solo fights.
Even implemented Classic
Stand
to begin
up.
with.
You guys want to see it? Alright, anyways, let's finish this video.
Was because of private servers. They didn't have this revelation where they actually understood their player base. They saw that one private server in particular, Nostalrius, had grown to unprecedented levels, so much so that they saw it as a threat to their own player base, and they sent their legal team to get it shut down, but not before flying the Nostalrius developers out to California to have a chat with them, presumably about making Classic an official thing after years of saying no in a very condescending way, by the way. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is that if you haven't heard what's going on right now with private servers, it's another canary in the coal mine situation. There's 2 servers in particular, Turtle WoW and Project Epoch, are essentially what players have been asking for years, Classic Plus. And it's what I just described. The base game, vanilla. They've added features and areas that build off of that, sort of like an alternative timeline where instead of going through the Dark Portal in 2007, you stay in Azeroth, and they release unfinished zones such as Mount Hyjal, Uldum, unreleased battlegrounds such as Ashara Crater, and, you know, other similar content that was planned for the original game by the original developers and made in the same feel as the original game. In other words,
But this makes me think how cool it is. Maybe I'm like having these weird thoughts, but the fact that these developers have tried like a super high-end game version, and then back, if you dial it back, it's like almost kind of like board games, but 3D, because there's like RNG. In OSRS, there's RNG too, right? When I do LMS, sometimes I could miss, sometimes I can land. Classic WoW is like that too. Retail WoW is not like that. You almost land almost every time if you press your button. But in Classic WoW, even in PvP, you might like miss your kidney shot, which is a stun. And I guess people naturally go back to wanting to like that RNG based board game, even though RNG sucks if it doesn't play in your favor. But if it does play in your favor, like your brain just goes like, oh fuck, I get that big crit, like big number, and it landed, and it feels good, right? So I guess in a way, like we dial it back to the close to the board game area, not like in the most fairness way. Because if you make it the most fair, it's retail WoW. They just make you catch up so that you're at the same level as other people. They let you get free gear if you don't play so that you're with everyone. But I guess like if we dial it back, people like this. If you play for a long time, you should be able to have more stuff. You know what I mean? I guess we just dial it back to that.
Exactly what old school RuneScape has done. So I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but Blizzard says all the time they want feedback and they listen to the players, which
I will say they're doing a lot better listening to the players these days.
by the way brings us to reason number 3
Way better than
here,
before.
and that's disconnect. This also isn't a secret. Blizzard has to be one of the most disconnected developers in relation to their player base. Recently I made a video analyzing a survey about a potential possible Classic Plus. And do you know what the comments were in that video? Go play the new private server. And the reason for that is on the very same survey, there's a question if they should include fucking Pokemon pet battles in this supposed version. Maybe the best way to explain it is from personal experience. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not perfect. I've been wrong plenty of times, and I'll be wrong plenty more, but I've been playing World of Warcraft in some capacity for about 20 years now, except when I nerd raged and quit for 2 years. I've been making videos about it for 10. I have over 600 of them, and in those 600 videos and all of the feedback in them, I have not seen one single identifiable change based off of my feedback. I shit you not. Within 3 OSRS videos, Jagex were quoting my channel specifically in changes made
Yo, shout outs to the Goblin.
to improve their new user experience of their game. They have mods that are in direct one-on-one conversation with the players, and again, they even have this polling system where they introduce ideas and the community votes on them. You don't really get how uncommunicative a developer is until you actually encounter one that is communicative. I'm not sure what the issue is. People are going to make fun of me for this, but I do think that they want to. Maybe they just don't know how. Perhaps there's an element that Blizzard is kind of the punching bag of the video game development sphere right now, so maybe it's...
Dude, it's so crazy because as I grew up, Blizzard used to be the most highly praised video game. Well, that's how I think. Did you guys feel that too? I feel like as I was growing up, like everyone talked about StarCraft, StarCraft 2, Warcraft, Warcraft 3, Diablo, Diablo 2. Man, Diablo was so fun. I remember PKing or just running Act 1 through 5, and World of Warcraft was peak as well. You know what I think it is? I don't know if I'm going to explain it well, but I think it's this. I've seen the OSRS documentary, right? And I think the developer name was Andrew. He was young. The WoW guys were young too, but I think Andrew was younger. So since the WoW guys are a little bit older, I think they were like a little bit more mature and made World of Warcraft in the way it is right now, where the graphics a little bit... I know this is subjective, but to me, the graphic for WoW was a little bit better than OSRS, right? Because I saw OSRS in the start. It was like a browser game, right? So his skill in the graphic side might have been lacking, but his vision was there, right? And this is like an older guy making cooler looking game, and then a little baby making his game, right? So it might not look cool, but the older guy, as he got older, I think it got in his head like, oh, our game's the best. It's doing super well, and they're doing everything right up until Wrath. I think they actually did very, very well with it, right? But that's where they stopped listening to their people, and they're like, we know better than what the community wants, so we're just gonna keep launching out shit that we like. As well as these guys are getting older now. They have a family. They're not that passionate with the game anymore, and they want to go to like their next step of their life or maybe retire, so they like sell off their game. kind of. I know Andrew had that moment too, but I feel like since he was younger, I feel like he listened to his community a little bit better in a way. Because throughout the history of the document, they really cared. They did F up with the bot attack and where they killed off that Wildy place. I think that was like their biggest fall. But it seems like they listened better. And I remember when I first played OSRS, I was like, dude, you guys don't know how good you guys have it with the poll system and whatnot. Yeah, WoW people have been wanting. I know the poll system is not perfect, but you guys have a lot of things that WoW people want, basically. And now WoW had like a big downfall, and then they're like listening to the people again after Shadowland. They really are. They're listening way better than before. But yeah, OSRS did that correctly, and I think maybe because of like the age and different views, probably. Cap? No, I'm not capping. For realsies. For realsies. Killing off Wildy was a complicated issue. Yeah. No, I know. I saw the whole video, and I know what their reasoning was, right? But it was a poor decision. Maybe they could have done something else. But I know WoW's made that decision a lot too. But that's something Aiza said too, the Jagex mod. He always said that there are things that they do to make the players happy, but they accidentally do it in a way that causes like trouble that they didn't expect. But players think that they did it on purpose, and they hate all the mods and the developers there, which kind of sucks, right? And then he was saying that some people get threatened by these decisions, and I think that's taking it too far. So hopefully if anyone's listening here, and even if you're super passionate about the game, you shouldn't take it that far to attack their personal lives. That's why Blizzard does not ever tell us who the PvP dev is anymore, because they used to have a PvP dev, but he got shit on so much by the community, probably like threatened every day, that they don't really share who the PvP developer is anymore. So if this community like continues to attack the devs, at some point the devs might shy away because of that. So you don't want to lose that. That's a really good relationship you have. So try to draw the line and don't take it too far. If you have feedback, give them constructive feedback, because they do listen, like what Mad Season said, like in their Reddit and whatnot, they like read, right? So try to be a human being and say things in the right way, right? Don't be too harsh, is what I'm trying to say.
Too toxic for them. But, whatever the case is, if you're putting pet battles on a Classic Plus survey, you're in...
See, this is the problem, guys. I sent Blizzard devs a picture of my asshole. But this is why they don't tell us who the devs are anymore. They don't want to see that, okay?
No way, shape, or form in touch with your audience at all. And if you're not in touch, you can't effectively deliver what they want. And you start giving them things like infinitely repeatable quests that take you from level 1 to 50 in a single corner of the world while earning 1,000 gold in the process.
Bro, what is this emo? Whose emo is this? Is this OSRS? Bro.
If you happen to watch their official videos relating to Discovery, you'd know that the whole premise of SOD was kind of born out of the idea that they have zero idea of what their community wants. They said many times that everything's a wild experiment to see what people want. On one hand, it's good because this is an attempt to get feedback, but on the other hand, you don't really need to experiment to know that incursions are about the exact opposite of what vanilla World of Warcraft is. In a lot of ways, again, it just kind of felt like them just sort of doing their own thing. Classic Plus has been talked about for many years. There's almost an infinite amount of wealth of information out there, and considering this, it's quite concerning to a lot of people that on a survey they see retail graphics, pet battles, and vanilla garrisons. So, reason number 3 is disconnect. What I would like to personally see are, like Jagex, for it to be this team-based experience that OSRS has been principled off of. But anyways, that's about all I have to say. Like I said, it's
Thank
quite
you,
an
Matt.
interesting
I'm gonna link this video,
situation.
guys.
We all obviously know that the games are very different, but that doesn't mean that there aren't lessons to be learned here, or there isn't any room for improvement. I do think that both are great in their own right, or they at least have the potential to be. I think
Yes, WoW's not that terrible, guys. WoW's not that terrible. It's a good game. Their direction has shifted in a way kind of like RuneScape 3, basically. You know how you guys love OSRS? And there's RuneScape 3? It's the same thing. We love WoW, but at the same time, the decisions they made to do RS3 is kind of equivalent to what I'm trying to say. Do you understand? I'm trying to make a good, a reflection of what I'm trying to say.
Vanilla is in kind of an awkward place right now, but like I said many times, it does have huge potential, and if they do go down the route that everybody has been clamoring for, I'll guarantee you that there'll be massive excitement because there is huge interest in it. As for me, I do appreciate both of them.
The thing is, the longer you F up WoW, like, we're going to start playing this game and we're going to be hooked to this game, and it's going to be really hard to even want to try this out, Because, like, damn, I feel like I found my new home, That's how MMO people feel, guys. But I will give this a shot when it comes out. It's probably going to be in, like, 2 years. So, yeah.
There is huge interest in it. As for me, I do appreciate both of them. I'm very much hooked on OSRS right now, and I do have an interest in the idea of a Classic Plus. I hope that both of these games find their stride
you and I are the
and
same,
thrive,
brother.
because the better both of them are, the more they have to compete with one another, which means it's a better experience for us as players. Thank you once again to the sponsor of this video, War Thunder. Play free today on PC, PlayStation,
I like the video
Xbox,
again, guys. Show
or
Matt
mobile,
some love.
and
Awesome
use my links
creator.
in the pinned comment
He's
or
made some
description,
amazing content
especially
for
for
the WoW.
those who play on PC or console and are a
And
newer returning player.
I think Guzu started playing because of Mad Season, right? According to what you guys said. And I played because of Guzu's community. So he's a man to thank. He's a man to thank.